Hey gamers, it's Joe the Apostate Cow here, and I want to talk about the current landscape of gaming, and I want to pose what I think, at least within the context of video games, is a rather poignant question. Has gaming hit a wall? Okay, I've expressed several times on this channel, both in my videos and also when I've been done like podcast things, that I'm very dissatisfied overall with the 8th gen consoles. And now that we're over a year into them and we're almost in 2015, I stand by that feeling. Am I saying there's no good games out there? No, I'm not saying that. But there are no seminal games out there, as far as I'm concerned, and and even in looking into 2015, there aren't that many things I'm really jazzed about. But more specifically, I feel like there are no game-changing games out there. There are no games that have pushed the boundaries and taken things to the next level. Now, people, whenever I've expressed that sentiment, and by the way, I'm not the only one. I've seen other people express similar sentiments both on YouTube and also in articles, like on N4G or what have you. I can't remember the specifics, but they get a similar response to what I would always get. Oh, Joe, just give it time. We're only a year, a little over a year into the 8th gen. Give it time. Give it time. You have to give it time. It's early days yet. Give it time. Give it time. Give it time. That's what everybody says. Give it time. I don't buy that. I'm sorry, and I don't agree. I don't think it's just about give it time, and I'm going to tell you why. All we have to do, we don't have to go back generation and generation. We just have to look at last gen. Look at the 7th gen. Now, before I continue, I will say this: it is going to be difficult to make a one-to-one, apples-to-apples comparison because the 7th gen consoles. And by the way, I'm not including Nintendo in this because I don't know enough about, how Nintendo fans and Nintendo in general, they operate on a different wavelength. I'm talking about games that were either exclusive to PlayStation or Microsoft or multi-plats that were on, PC, PS3 and 360 or now PS4, Xbox One and PC. So that, I want to add that qualifier. We can't make an apples-to-apples comparison because the 360 and PS3 launched a year apart. The Xbox 360 launched in the fall of November 2005, not the fall of November, but rather November 2005, and the PS3 launched in fall of 06. So they launched a year apart, whereas the new gen systems, you guys know, launched within a week of each other. Wasn't it like November 16th and November 22nd or something like that? I don't remember exactly, but yeah, so it can't make a one-to-one comparison, but I think we can still walk away with a definitive picture, or at least a picture that has been painted, at least for me, that is a bit discouraging. I'm going to ask you guys a question, or a series of questions, but it's all really one question. Okay, we're a little over a year in. Where is this generation's Gears of War? Where is this generation's Uncharted Drake's Fortune? Where is this generation's BioShock? Where is this generation's Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion? Where is this generation's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare? Now, some of you probably know what I'm getting at, but I know some of you might be a little confused, and you might already start typing your comments, and you're going to say something in the vein of, Joe, what are you talking about? There's another Gears sequel in the works. Uncharted 4 comes out in 2015. There's probably going to be another Elder Scrolls eventually, and there's probably going to be another BioShock. 2K said that on Twitter a while back, and Call of Duty comes out every fucking year, so what are you talking about? No. I'm not talking about sequels to those franchises. I'm talking about this generation's equivalent to what those games meant and were to the 7th gen. That's what I'm asking. Every one of those games I just mentioned came out either a year to 2 years within of the last gen's life cycles. Again, hard to make an apples to apples because they launched a year apart. They all came out, in roughly the same amount of time. And they were all, both literally and figuratively, game changers. Okay, they all were, made us gasp as gamers, made us, I'm not just talking about graphics, just gameplay, pushing the boundaries of narrative, of what a video game, what we even thought they could be. Okay, I'll never forget the first time I played Oblivion. I know Morrowind was already kind of did that, but Oblivion took it even further. And of course, there were previous Call of Duty games, but the Call of Duty games before that were, World War II games, and Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty 4, say whatever you want about the current state of Call of Duty. Call of Duty 4 was a seminal game that one could argue set the entire tone for the 7th gen, for better or for worse. That's not what I want to get into. That game was phenomenal. Okay, Gears of War. 1 year after the Xbox 360 launch, Gears of War was out. Gears of War visually was stunning. It pushed the boundaries of a third-person shooter, and not narrative, not so much. You know, the story in Gears was always kind of hokey, but Uncharted, people think Uncharted 2 was the moment. No, Uncharted 2 just took it to a whole nother level. Uncharted 1 turned a lot of heads, both with regular gamers and with the gaming industry. I mean, the mocap that Naughty Dog was using, the characters, the animations, and again, the graphics, and that game still looks fucking great, Uncharted 1. It was just, they were important games. BioShock. Do I even have to get into that? Do I even have to describe to you how important and what an insanely amazing game that was? And that came out in the fall of 2007. 1 year into the PS3's life cycle, technically 2 years into the Xbox 360s, but again, hard to make that, because they launched a year apart. But Uncharted 1 came out in the fall of 2007, 1 year into the PS3's life cycle, and Gears of War came out in fall of 2006, 1 year into the 360's life cycle. Call of Duty 4, fall of 2007. 2006 was Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. These were important games. All right, what do we have this gen? Again, I'm not trying to shit on you guys if you like some of these games that are out now. I mean, can you name one that comes within 100 miles of doing what those games did? What the Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor? Come on. Destiny? Please. Okay? You know what I'm saying? What game does what any of those games did? And looking forward in 2015, guys, I gotta tell you, the games I'm excited about are fucking sequels. But I'm not excited about them in the same way. I'm not being wowed into, wow, this is the new. I knew when this generation started, it wasn't going to be the same kind of leap, visually, etc., that it was last gen. I knew that. But I didn't know how underwhelmed I was going to be. So much so that, guys, for this last year, my PS3 gets turned on, and not just turned on because I use it for Blu-ray and DVD and Netflix and all that shit, but to game. I put in more hours of gaming on my PS3 than I have my PS4, hands down. Okay, and I'm sure there's probably plenty of other people out there. This is not about fanboy shit. There's probably plenty of guys out there who have a 360 and an Xbox One. They probably turn their 360s on more. Okay, I wonder, has gaming hit a wall? I realize that the landscape, both the climate in the gaming industry, the financials, everything else was very different back in, 06, 07 and whatnot. But I feel like there's just so much wrong now. Games coming out totally unfinished. Games coming out that are either just the derivative dribble of what's been done before, or, this push with indie games, man. Yeah, guys, I know I get a lot of criticism when I criticize indie games, but I don't know how many times I have to say it. I did not buy a next-gen console to play freaking side-scrollers and games that look like they could have ran on the Super NES or the Genesis. I'm sorry, I didn't. And yeah, I know there's more games coming, people blowing their loads about The Witcher 3 and stuff, but man, none of these games, very few of them, have me going, God damn, I can't wait for that. People are all excited about The Division. Prediction, guys, prediction. Ready? I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll say I was wrong. Prediction. The Division's going to come out, and people are going to be very disappointed. Maybe not, but I'm telling you, I look at that game, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Doesn't look that great to me. But I think the bigger point that I'm trying to raise, or bigger question I'm trying to ask, is, number one, has gaming hit a wall? Are we going to look, in a few years, are we going to look back on the 7th gen? Which, bear in mind, a lot of people bitched about the 7th gen because a lot of shit started on disc DLC, the online passes, things like that. A lot of bad trends started in the 7th gen, but are we going to look back in 2 or 3 years and go, man, the 7th gen was actually pretty fucking awesome compared to this one? I'm really worried that might be the case, man. I really am. Now, again, I know a lot of you guys might disagree with me, but I'm just asking, go back to that question. Where is this generation's, I'm not going to list them all again, COD 4, Elder Scrolls 4, Uncharted, Gears of War, BioShock. There, I listed them all again. Where are the equivalents of those games this gen? I ask you, okay? And that's it. So rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. As always, keep it civil. All right, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.